guess I'm actually feeling some passion or passion or something like that. Whatever it is. Alexa, I'm you, I guess. But oh my, there's so much passive information that I'm getting. That's why I was kind of a little bit self righteous about it at one point, but like it was, I don't know. It just got to like for the same reason I just didn't want to be on the internet in general, but that's hard to do or hard to like restrict perfectly. So I was just like, I'll cut off social media. I'm almost gonna miss my main point here, just rambling on, but it doesn't matter. It's not like anybody's gonna see this, right? I'm just putting it into the ether just to get it out. But it's a lot of passive information, and once I found out how the subconscious kind of works or like got a general understanding of it, I'm like, I just don't want any more stuff in my brain that I don't need or that I didn't voluntarily put into there. If I can limit that as much as possible, that's ideal. Because there's already uh what is the so much already in there. I'm gonna put it like that. I was gonna say some other word. It's already generally from growing up, from developing, from being alive. So many other things already in there. Past experiences and whatever you want to call it. Just other experiences and data or whatever. I'm trying to limit that. But still, our parents are like watching TV and sometimes YouTube and stuff. So there's some stuff I can't help but hear. Like I'm not gonna be like super duper and like anti about it, like wear earplugs all around. Maybe I should. I don't. But hey, anyway, it inspired this, so maybe everything happens for a reason and all that. I guess it's hard to accept that subconsciously. It's nice. It's nice to say, but anyway, that's a whole different thing. Uh, what was I even? Anyway, the Shannon Sharp thing was on when I was trying to just get my stuff from the kitchen, and I couldn't help but hear it. Anyway, nothing against that, but like, or nothing against the person who said it either, because whatever. Not even on some like kumbaya stuff that like give everyone grace, but like it's not even what they. It's just sometimes like, damn, you know what I mean? No, I don't. But the self-diagnosis, they like that motherfucker was hammering that joke, and I guess to be fair, it was more of a like, it's not making fun of. He kind of clarified too. It's not making fun of like specifically just general self-diagnosing, like people feeling a certain type of way in mental health. It wasn't joking about that per se. It was joking more about the person who said it. Okay, whatever. I guess because like she's a comedian, so it's like gotta razz each other, or is razz even a word? Whatever. Okay, I guess that's like a thing. So from that perspective, it's cool. But just in general, it got me thinking like, damn. I feel like other people really aren't joking like that. They are just joking like, oh, like wow, this motherfucker just thinks that they're just making this shit up. Like to me personally, with any self-identifying thing, it's coming from somewhere. Like that's my thing about it. It's there has to be some stimulus. That's just a fun word to say, but there has to be some input somehow, some way that affects the output of you thinking that. This isn't just in a vacuum, as they say. This is just popping out. I don't think I know why it would be that sound. It'd be more like a, I don't know how to make a poof sound, but just imagine poof in a little bubble. It's not just poofing out of anywhere. Like you feel different somehow, some way. You try to like clarify and define what that difference is from other people, and it kind of ended up self-diagnosing. Can you be wrong? Yeah, that's kind of just life. I don't know what to say, and it's not as easy as that's. Oh, you know what? Whatever. Since I'm already on this, the last joint was 40 minutes, so this, and I'm just going off the dome with this. So, anyway, speaking of that, the whole just go to therapy thing. God, come on now, come on now. Like even if we did live in a well, I don't know if any country has perfected the. I don't even know if you can perfect the healthcare system or free healthcare system necessarily, but some people it would be worth trying. I think, but hey, whatever. Let's not even pick a real country like in a ideal world society. Well, in an ideal world society, I guess it wouldn't matter. But like, never mind. Let me go back. In a country where healthcare is free, let's say like Britain or something, they got like long wait times or something like that. Let's say even if you could just get through and like getting to the actual therapist's office was, or getting or having the access was like streamlined and cool. Like, so there's no worry about the financial part of it. There's, go figure, there would be a mental aspect of it too. Like the people who need it most probably have like the hardest time. There's like if there was a chart or something, like they would have the hardest time. Uh, I feel like benefiting from it. To me, I would think for anyone who's not already like, and unless it's the other way around, and like it is just purely financial, and that's the only reason that's keeping them. But I say in the case of like, they usually it's kind of pointed at like men. It's like for good reason. Let's be honest here. There's a lot of reasons for that to be a thing. And then they make it seem like it's just a panacea, like, or let me see, a cure all. It will alleviate everything. You just go to therapy, and that's it. Easy peasy. Like you don't have to find the right person. And even that's just like that's Russian root. Not okay. I'm not gonna say it's Russian root, but it's like that's still tough too. You have to go by like your location. Even if you can afford everything, you're still at the mercy of how far you want to go and all that. Like time wise, just general the planning of it and the actual appointment and all that. And then even then, sometimes it's just not the one for you. Just like a relationship, sometimes it's just. I mean, I guess some of the law of attraction type people or assumption will say that you subconsciously are kind of screwing yourself or something like that. But I guess that's a whole other thing too. Oh gosh, Lee. This is probably why I can't talk in real life. Imagine trying to do this in a real conversation. That'll be sheesh. No wonder it's way easier to just not say anything because then you don't start anything. You don't start any branches. What not branches, but spider webs or whatever you want to call it. There won't be any ripples of the conversation to go and keep spreading and spreading and spreading until I get like, what was I even talking about? Like right now, I don't even. But hey, sort of to get back to it. And then I found out about the term alexithymia, so I'm gonna keep hammering that in because that basically explain like some of these terms. Like I guess it could be like I know the term psychobabble and just like it is a lot of jargon and I guess pop psychology and it's maybe spread too far, Pandora's box and whatever. And maybe it's a little bit overused in some cases, but some of them are helpful. Sometimes some really specific words are helpful because it just really like it scratches that spot of like, damn. I was like, that's what that is. Like, you know what I mean? Or kind of like, yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of where like the self-diagnosing thing is like to me, sort of beneficial, and possibly I'm just assuming someone who is on that circular type of spectrum sort of thing, having the focus type of either hyper focus or they probably have done a lot of research too. Like that's and it's like you are assuming a lot of things by discrediting the self-diagnosis type of thing. You're assuming that the healthcare system is perfect and doctors always get it right, or any doctors get it right. I'm not saying to like discredit them either. I'm just saying the healthcare system isn't exactly peachy or whatever phrase people use. Like sometimes, go figure, there are some just some biases and stuff that, like, ask women about how they get treated when they have menopause. Ask them. 50%, like, or not 50%, but ask them and see what it's like. It's not gonna be 100% are getting, messed up all the time or getting denied certain things. Or more specifically, ask a woman who, maybe this might have changed a little bit. I'll give them some credit, but over like the past 20 years or so, ask a woman who has tried to get their tubes tied. Like a group of women, like survey them and see how many of them had a smooth experience. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. Hey, what do I know? I'm just, come on. But it just for all of those type of things, any sort of label. Ideally, I think most people, most, keyword most, would agree they don't want a label. Everybody just wants to be human and such and so forth and transcend and just be one with the universe, be oneness, and you know, not be anything but be everything and all that. Like, that sounds amazing. But due to the societal whatever constraints and weights placed upon people, like, yes, there are labels. So, you can't help but kind of just go with what you feel or what closest matches you. You know what I mean? Like, what sort of fits, at least, kind of. Might not be snug, but it's like, it's close, I guess. But it just goes back to, there is something that you noticed that was like, I'm just like, hey, let's be honest here. It usually with all of them. I'm not even talking about just uh like neurologic type, even all along the sexual, uh I guess it wouldn't be along, but like within the sexual spectrum, the gender spectrum, all of that. It's usually starts from, just to put it plainly, feeling bad in some way, generally, or feeling just out of place in some way. Fish out of water, I guess, to put it like that. That's, to me, I can't like say for certain 100%, but like generally that's where it stems from. So that's my thing with the self-diagnosis shit. It's like, this isn't just, and I don't know. I don't know. I mean, maybe for some people it's like a fun thing or something, but generally it's like a oh, uh, gosh, Lee. Eh, I gotta use I'm gonna just start saying alexithymia when I can't explain it how I really want to, or like the emotional aspect of it and the disconnect. That's like a part of it too, like just being out of it somehow. Kind of like drugs, but just without the. I guess I could assume like being on downers, as they say, like, or like a drunk-ish type of mental state, but just without drinking, type of thing, or without at least being in a party environment. Which is, I don't know, that's not even really a good one to put, like a good or close analogy, but I guess to put it like another way, from watching a few healthy gamer GG videos on YouTube. The name of that channel is really something else, but the information is priceless to me, to be honest. So I'm not even gonna get on the name, but it's just like you feel like it's just a sense of everything being hard all the time. So if you always felt like that, then it'll be like you'd eventually just start searching for something in general, like literally anything, and that's part of the alexithymia thing, at least specifically the alexithymia thing. I guess in some, I don't know. Apparently, more of my thing is closer to the alexithymia than the general autism thing. I guess I don't really know what it's like to separate them, because I only know both of them together. So I don't. Maybe for some people that could just be like, "Yay, I'm neurodivergent," and it's like a fun sort of figuring it out thing. But that wasn't really my case, so I can't speak from that. But something I don't know. I had paused it. What I was saying before specifically, but I'll start back with this feeling alien and just out of there's really no other way, but just feeling alien does, I'm not gonna say immeasurable, but like it definitely does something to your brain, just from a human perspective. When you can't like ever fit in or feel like you fit in, like that type of feeling. To basically instead of you can be like excommunicated isn't really the ostracized maybe I guess in some way, but like doing it to yourself is just like a different type of mental thing in itself. Like I don't know the full like psychological way to explain it, but just it's something else. Kind of torturing yourself in a way. That's like the sort of the best way I can explain overthinking and like it's I don't want to use the term self awareness, but more like just hyper criticism or hypercritical of yourself in a way more so than that. Just that all the time is if and then add on top of that other people telling you things like hey, they don't necessarily know any better. It's not like I'm not trying to hold it against them or whatever. They're only speaking from what they know. But it still kind of sucks. You could hurt somebody without intentionally hurting them. That's the unfortunate thing about it. You know, like a stray bullet or something. I don't know. But the like comments of like, oh, just get out of your comfort zone. It's like this is like it's actually keeping me alive, to put it like that. Like this isn't just like if I like I don't even know like there's just nothing for me in most social situations. So I don't want to go. And since most of the time in social situations you have to pay for something in some way to either eat or to go out, why would I what's the point? I'm paying to feel like crap, to feel bad. When I could just do that at home if I want to. Or just feel in the middle or neutral, preferably. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not to say that someone can't necessarily change, but the best example I could put is like, let's say, just your whole life you've been writing with your right hand or doing something with one specific da 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 and all that. Try to write with the other hand. Like, you know what I mean? Or you've been speaking one language all life. Try to learn another language. It's because it was a developmental thing. That's what this is a developmental thing. The word after developmental is, you know, so I don't like using the word disorder is like, damn, you know, shit. But it's a developmental thing that happened. So, you know, trying to undevelop something isn't, you know what I mean? It's not impossible. I'm not gonna, it's just like by the time you do all that, it's like, let's just be realistic here. Come on. Like, so I guess that's where maybe coping type of strategies come in handy and are more realistic instead of just being like, just let go, live a little, live a little. Okay. I think, and the real fear of it too, I think for some people, for the people who have somehow escaped the clutches of addiction through this mental minefield, I guess you could say. That was pretty good wording, I'm not gonna lie. But whatever. I was flowing right there. But who have escaped that barely, they probably have had like some touch of addiction, either with like something sort of light, like a video game or junk food type of thing, or some sort of self something mean. So for anyone who has like sort of gotten past that, to just say, go live it, like, I don't know. Cause like to be honest, the only way that they'll be able to be out somewhere, let's say at a party or something, is to drink. Because otherwise it's not a good time. And who wants that? I don't know how to explain it. What do I know? I'm just, fuck, God. It's truly a joke sometimes, really. That's the whole thing that started even way before the autism thing was just like was kind of just a stumble upon sort of thing. Like, oh, wow. Before that, it was just, can I even trace? I don't even know if I could properly trace it. First, it started off with just like, don't want to be alive. Like praying to die in my sleep for God to show me grace and mercy and let me perish, to leave me, to return home, to welcome me back with open arms. That's where it started. Since I'm just going to get into it like that. And why not be honest? What do I have to lose but my chain? Right? I like that quote. Whatever. Anyway, what's his name? Jock. Not the, I know who that guy's name is, but the other, it was a video I was watching. That's all I do when I'm not eating well, sometimes doing either or, but I don't know what that means. I was about to say when I'm not moving around, trying to be active, because I got to stay alive. So I might as well look good while I'm doing it and feel okay. Since I can't really control it mentally, I might as well at least kind of have some movement, some fluidity in my joints to the best of my ability. Some damn muscle mass, maybe. Just a bit. All right. Jock Fresco. It got some interesting concepts and things. But anyway, back to the brutal honesty, I guess. And so then I guess the next level is what's wrong with me, that type of thinking. Why can't I just da da da, the internalizing of all of the stuff that's keeps on being pushed on me. Why can't I just blah 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 and that make you feel bad? And then I guess the next level up is maybe to use another psychology term, dissociation, dispersonalization or something, being numb, just not even feeling real. What is even going on? Floating through the world. Not what is anything type of, like, what does that question even mean? What is anything? Like that type of thinking. Just being so lost in the sauce that's like something else. Interesting times. What's real, like I said before, why am I real? Why does anything exist instead of nothing? And that type of stuff. And then you get into philosophy and it's like, and then you get into nihilism and it's like, oh, wait a minute. You could just give up. Like that's a thing and just not care anymore. And truly, like, instead of fighting the numbness, just be numb and give in to whatever. That's an interesting one too. Then I guess the next part is somehow if you make it out of the nihilism part, some sort of, I don't want to say transcendence, but just like a sort of just bobbing your head up and taking a gasp of air after almost drowning. And then it's like, oh, okay. You know what? I don't really like this whole thing, this whole situation that I'm in. But there's no undo button. So whatever. You just start taking a logical sort of logical optimism, if that's the thing. I don't like realism, whatever that means, or type of approach. And it's just like, well, I'm at least gonna survive. And that's truly the only thing I can do right now. So you just keep pushing that, and maybe there's another transcendence level after that too. We'll see. That alexithymia thing is like something else. I remember like the first time I saw it, I think I might have been back when I had a Twitter. or back when it was Twitter. That was stumbled. It was either that or maybe another YouTube video. But found that, and then apparently it found me again when I needed it most. And I was like, oh, that's what that is. Fuck, I forgot. And apparently that's when people think of autism, that's what autism really is. Not the other stuff is just kind of like, I don't even know, like it's sort of a little bit more general, but like the expressionless type of thing and coldness and all that. And that's more so what that is than more so alexithymia than autism itself. So I kind of low key, I kind of wonder what pure autism is like. Like, I feel like that's how people feel about Coke. And I'm talking about like Coke with the drink, not the other one. No, I'm talking about the other one. Like, really, like, that's what I imagine it's like. It's just like to just be, not like, I guess, since it's a spectrum, you can, but specifically what autism is like without alexithymia. Because I can't imagine it. Go figure, that's about alexithymia too. Imagining things is sort of hard. At least imagining positive things. It's easy if like to imagine what's already been happening or failing or something like that. That's sort of, I guess, a defense mechanism somehow, some way. But it's all interesting stuff. I do like learning though. That's the one thing I got. I don't know if that's a part of it too, but it's maybe a little special interest type of thing. So get into I don't know if I can get to the bottom of it, but I can at least keep digging. That sounds really hopeful. So I'm just going to leave it like that. That's so cute.